Hello there, Lynx here, and welcome to another game from ATP Project. I start to think that all those games, those free games that I downloaded years ago, are just from that studio. Which is crazy, but yeah, Days of Hydrangea Path. Let's see what this is about exactly. I've always wanted to return here, to this town. It all happened here. I remember it quite vividly. Is that a freaking Ford? I think it's a Ford over here. Like near the parking spot there's a nut. I believe it is. Anyway, it was here that I experienced what I to this day feel was the day of my life that I remember most. It was perfect. A perfect day. Even if I don't really like the word, perfect. And now I wanted to come here because I wanted to say thank you. And I know how silly that sounds, saying thank you to a day that has passed or a place I spent that day in. But it's the best way I can describe it. Those few hours. And when I think of it having arrived here, it does seem like I'm acting on every nostalgic feeling of every other person ever. That I'm a stereotype. But even if it may be a common scenario, it's still mine. And it's no less true. Already, as I walked out of the hotel, the tremendous heat hit me. Now, 15 minutes later, I felt it even worse. The air was hard to breathe, such was the humidity. Heavy clouds were forming. The heat was everywhere. My situation. Lake Kawaguchi. Okay. Because I booked this overnight stay here as a kind of a short stop. Before continuing going back home tomorrow. Somehow I never truly realized just how little time I would have in this place. It would literally only be enough for a single walk. For that one walk up that hill that I took back then, that I remembered. That has become the symbol of that day. Only just enough time to repeat it. I continue walk in the direction of a hill that I wanted to go up. I knew it was past the tunnel, so I just kept on walking. I didn't really take a map of the area, mostly because when I was booking the hotel, I recognized the area and felt it was going to be easy to find the path up the hill. I reached the tunnel and hoped for a cooldown as I'd be walking through. I did remember it just the way it was, and it felt nice to see it again. My memory of it was a little different, but it was still unmistakably that tunnel. I remembered it so well. Also my headphones are sliding. The cool air. That tunnel felt smaller than I remembered. But I suppose that's how memories work. I just continued walking. The lake to my right. I did feel it. I mean, it did feel ordinary, I guess. I did feel it ordinary, something like that. I don't know. Of course, I wouldn't have the same experiences as that one time. That was clear, and I shouldn't be surprised. There was that cable car. Never was in one. I mean, I was kind of in the one that goes downhill from from our Polish ski jumping platform. So yeah, however, that one was like not really a cable car, but more like, how would you call it exactly? Literally like a cable chair of sorts. I don't know exactly the naming for it, to be honest. But yeah, literally a chair, you know. And I didn't use it in winter, but it was spring, I guess, because it was a school trip. Anyway, I didn't take it on that day. I went up a path. And so I would do the same now. I haven't really eaten properly all day, but I was going to have dinner at the hotel. I mean, I had breakfast, I had some yogurt, and that's about it. I need to still make dinner, yeah. And I need to render videos. Anyway, so I decided to just go to a convenience store and buy something to drink and a chocolate snack. That should be enough to bring me through. I mean, maybe not chocolate snack. Get a freaking protein bar instead. Anyway. The fact that I didn't really want to relive the day in its entirety. It also meant that even though I only had time for going on this one walk, that it would still be fine. That walk perhaps being the culmination of a series of events that day and days before it. Its relevance to me was the combination of all such circumstances. I realized all of it very cruelly, and it reassured me that I really didn't seek to be transported back to the past. I just wanted to take that one walk. I was in my mid-20s then. Oh, same like me right now. And it wasn't a trip with friends. Not a getaway with a special someone. It was just me. Alone. Sounds like me. Damn, nice place. Really nice place. I sat down on a bench at a clearing. Looking at the lake. Taking a bit of a break. It wasn't because I was dead tired, but I did want to eat my chocolate before it melted. Also, drink one bottle of isotonic drink, so I'd only have to carry the second bottle with me. It looked as though the next part of the ascent would be quite steep. I observed the surroundings. Damn, it looks beautiful. I did not notice this at the time, but this place was living off a tourism. Buses kept passing by, and even the hotels were built in that strangely fanciful way that gave them the aura of a resort. Come to think of it, my hotel was also richly decorated with items from the area. Looking around at this place from this high up, I started thinking about what I expected from this walk. I was looking forward to it when I planned it, and on the train, but in the end it would only be a normal walk. So, I don't know. Especially now, as I was here, perhaps a quarter of the way up. All I felt was the heat. The heavy air. It was disappointing. I don't know why, for some reason I feel like I've seen this area before. Huh. I don't know why, it seems familiar for some reason. Like the down area, like the entrance to the tunnel and before that. Somehow it seems familiar, I don't know why. Anyway, of course it was. I kept telling myself. It would always be, but still. Maybe it was my state of mind, maybe it was the heat throwing me off. I didn't know why, but I did feel indifferent. To walk this path, I would have thought I would at least enjoy the surroundings. But I wasn't doing that. I would even go so far as to say they weren't nice. The clouds weren't white, but this heavy grey. There was some litter on the streets. idiot drifters that left skid marks on the parking lot. And I didn't like some of the boats on the lake. And buildings. They were run down, some of them. I don't know. Suddenly everything started to irritate me. And I was also questioning this mountain that I was walking up. Maybe it would have been wiser to just walk for a bit and then return to the hotel. Watch something or... I don't know. I seem to have completely lost interest in doing all of this. As soon as enough realizations accumulated, I suppose I saw all of this for what it was. I came here, back then, on a trip with friends. Probably because, well, because of course someone would suggest we come here on a trip. Everyone made a trip here, so why not our group? And I remember how. If it was up to me, I would have chosen this place. But that it was alright, I didn't mind. I liked being around my friends and we took trips together. It was alright, really. Really. Still, if it was annoying how everyone just wanted to see the great mountain. I couldn't care less and I decided to fake being a bit sick and just wanting to walk around the lake. To take it easy. And that's how I made that walk up this mountain. I just did. For no reason. I was alone but not lonely. I was away but not running from things. And whenever I looked into the future, I saw nothing coming up that could be perceived as negative. A simple sentence kept echoing in my head. Everything is fine. Everything. It was all fine. My health, my wealth, my relationships, my obligations. Everything. Man, I wish I could say that. Nothing caused any pain and discomfort. Nothing caused any concerns. And when one is in that state, one forgets about it all. I didn't feel that there was no pain, because I just didn't need to notice it. I didn't feel the absence of relationship problems, because such a possibility never needed to cross my mind. And I didn't worry I didn't worry about my job, because the job just was. It existed, like the air. And because it just was, my mind did not feel it needs to question its permanence. Everything was dead fine. But it wasn't happiness that resulted from this absence of negativity. It was me being carefree to the extent that I did not realize that I was carefree. It was the perfect feeling. One you don't notice when you have it. And one you can always only realize after the fact. It's so common and yet it happened to me, and it was only once it happened to me that I was able to feel its depth in its entirety. It was a slow realization. Every day it grew. Every time it was happening was just a day. Its importance grew with me. I mean with time, but yeah. As more things started to happen. And as more and more realizations started to surface about that day. And how much solace it has given me to know I was able to experience such a day. And now it's just a day. Maybe just like the one day was at its time. But it would likely stay a day to essence, of which will be insignificant to me. Not as strong of a memory as that one time. This view. These stairs. This bridge. This path. Definitely this also looks kind of like stairs, but yeah. The Hydrangea. Whatever. So blue. It was. Just like I remembered. A path so secluded it was its own world. Being embraced by it. Hidden. In a never-ending forest of blue. It's as if my memory suddenly came alive. All around me. In its purest form. What a nice place, man. Huh? Huh? Hello? 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 Was that us? In the game? Now I'm curious. Why am I clicking so fast? Damn, this looks good. What's with the girl? Seriously? An ATP Projects production. Art by Chen Li. Music by Marcos H. Bolanos. I hope I read this correctly. Photography written and directed by Mikey, as usual. It was evening when I got back to the town. And as I was approaching it, walking down the last bit of that path, just before I would hear the first cars, I recall the walk I just took, all that I saw, and all that I will remember. From this second time, I walked through the Hydrangea path. Hydrangea, whatever. It's a weird word. It was Hydrangea, I believe, right? Not perfection. It was to me a beauty. The end. Days of the Hydrangea path. Hope you enjoyed. I don't know, there is something about this writing that makes those games, I mean, relaxing to me. Super relaxing, and I enjoyed that. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed listening / watching. One of the two. Both. And I'll see you in the next game. Of course, as a reminder, Katawa Shoujo is still ongoing, so feel free to drop by there as well. Bye bye.